Yo, all right, here we go. Knicks and Mets. Knicks take game two. Protect home court. It didn't look like it was going to happen when JB went down. It didn't look like it was going to happen when OG went down. But we fought and we scratched and we clawed and we found a way. We found a way to get a win. And even if we didn't, Celtics in 4? Are you kidding me, bro? But we found a way to just get a win. And that's really all that matters. It doesn't matter if it's pretty, if it's dirty, if it's clean in the playoffs. You just need to win. Brunson said it a couple weeks ago on the roommates. You just any win is a good win in the playoffs. So just had to get that, get the win. And even if we didn't get that win, we would have been fine because we weren't going to lose home court as long as we took one in Indy. Now, even now getting this win does help us a lot though, because now we have the ability to rest OG Anunoby, who Ian Begley said there is pessimism around him playing tomorrow. Which it's okay. Jalen Brunson, if you need a day off, you can take that day off. We are in the driver's seat for this series. We can lose game 3. That means we should come back and take game 4 though. So we're good in that regard. We just needed that win helps us a ton, but we didn't need it. And then for the Mets, we're back to 500. And that's the thing with teams that are going to hover around 500 the whole year. They're going to drop a couple, they're going to win a couple, but it feels like every time the Mets get close to going under 500, it seems like they bounce back with a win or two in a row, go a game above 500. This time they went below though. The Rays swept them in 3 games that we definitely could have won. And then they followed it up with the Cardinals series, 2 wins. The 3rd game got rained out, won the series. I don't know if that counts as a sweep. Technically a sweep in my eyes, because we did win both games. And I guess not yet. It could be because that game got rescheduled for August 19th, I think. So we're good. The Mets are good. Pete Alonso just needs to start hitting, man. I mean, we're not going to go anywhere without Pete. Pete and Lindor. Lindor's starting to break out. Is it time? Does Alonso need a standing ovation from the Citi Field crowd as they come home to open a series with the big bad Braves tomorrow? Is that what Alonso needs? Because if it does, anything to get him going. I know Evan Roberts on the Fan afternoon drive is growing the beard in allegiance to Pete Alonso. And he said he was going to grow it out until he signs a new contract. But and then he said he was going to cut it, and Alonso goes 2 for 5 with a double, a homer, and 4 ribbies, I think. So Alonso had a big game to finish that series off, and I think we're just gonna hover around this spot for a while. Looking at the standings in the MLB right now, I know it's still incredibly early. Looking at the wild card standings, the Mets are in 5th place, but tied for that 3rd wild card spot. And yes, they've played 4 less games than the Padres, who are actually in the spot, but they're tied with the Nationals at 18-18, and the Padres are at 20-20. I don't know how that works. Oh, because the Padres played in that in the Seoul series in Korea. Right. So Padres, I don't know about them, man, because they're weird. Let's see, how's Tatis doing? I haven't really been paying attention to him too much after that rough season he had last year. Tatis this year, he's playing right field. 2024. His average, let's see. Right now he's hitting 255, 333 OBP, 439 slugging, 773 OPS, 7 bombs. Let's see how many ribbies. RBIs, he's got 21. So he's off to a pretty good start. I think Machado's been playing well too. I just don't know about their pitching because after losing Blake Snell, who was their ace of that rotation, picked up 2 Cy Young awards as a member of the Padres, he's gone now, and it honestly might benefit them because he's been terrible, and he's on the IL now. He got scratched from his start against the Mets, um, in that last game when the Giants bullpen the Giants had to have a bullpen game, and the Mets blew them out. Lindor had a huge game that day. Alright, that's like my little open. Getting back to some of the Knicks talk. Go New York, go New York, go. Go to Indianapolis up 2-0. Let Brunson and OG rest. Just concede game 3. Let the Pacers have it. The people of Indiana deserve a playoff win in their home building. And game 4, I'll slam the door on them. Go up 3-1, come back to the Garden, and clinch your first series at the Garden since 1999. Brunson lost his 40-point game streak because he did miss a quarter and a half, 16 minutes of the game with that foot injury. I didn't think it was a foot injury when he went back to the locker room. I thought it was a either a thumb or a wrist because it looked like he was grabbing his hand. Um, but yeah, he and then when he came back out, he was the first person on the court taking warm up shots before the second half started. MVP chants broke out. Shades of Willis Reed, although I don't agree with it. Shades of Willis Reed from 70s game the finals of in the 70s. The Knicks won 54 years and exactly 54 years later. Jalen Brunson comes back in, and the first couple plays, the first couple minutes of that third quarter, he didn't look like he trusted himself. He was moving very, very gingerly on that leg. Um, and he was kind of just a decoy out there. But that in the fourth quarter when it mattered most, and I don't know if this was just adrenaline or it's good. Josh Hart needs to be playing these big minutes right now. Um, Is the mic working? It doesn't seem like it. Let's see. Oh yes, it is working. Okay, what was I saying? Uh, Jimmy Butler was the last person to play a full 48, and Josh just has an unlimited motor. He's been going insane. He's doing it off the Mike and Ikes. Um, Jo Josh is on a crazy run right now. Um, and what else was I gonna say? Without Brunson, we suck. That's flat out how it is. I mean, without Brunson, that second quarter, we Indiana outscored us by 10 points in the second quarter, and then Brunson comes back in. We double him up immediately in the third. The third quarter score of that game, um, we were down 10 going into the half, and then after the third quarter, um, we outscored them 36-18 in that third. But then after the third, we were up by 8 points. That's just a Brunson effect, man. They had to put so much pressure on Brunson, and well, it was more of just Brunson was a decoy in that third that it allowed other people like a Josh Hart, like a Dante DiVincenzo to do what they do. Josh Hart takes the ball to the rim so aggressively, and he just does what he does so well. Does everything well. All around great, very solid role player, um, and he's just come up absolutely huge. It's the next man up mentality I was talking about yesterday. Everybody just needs to step up and play their roles. Nobody needs to well, yes, people need to be better than they're expected to be, but it's not like, Josh Hart has to go out there, drop 30 points, 25 rebounds, and 17 assists for us to win. He can have those games, and, like, that this is just an average stat line for him. Um, 19 points, uh, 15 boards, and 7 assists. That's just average for him, and he does that almost every game, and it's huge. And somebody that did not play average yesterday, Isaiah Hartenstein. I'll get to him in a minute because I wanna say one more thing about Josh. What was going on in that first quarter with him? I mean, stepping over the line, dribbling off his foot, like, that's just not in character for Josh Hart. He's not somebody that does that very often. And now getting to Hartenstein, in 39 minutes, he was flirting with a triple-double. He had 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. And I think he coulda had more. He threw a ball away to Dante, um, and then just missed shots like normal, but he definitely coulda had that triple-double tonight or last night. Uh, just did not come to fruition. Um, but it and a very big performance from Isaiah Hartenstein when we needed it most. Without Mitchell Robinson, that's who needs to step up. Precious Achiuwa also stepped up, and he's been doing that all year. For some reason, I just think Tibbs hates Precious Achiuwa for some reason. I mean, I don't know if it's that he doesn't like Achiuwa or it's just that reluctancy to bring people off the bench. Um Because Achua did play 28 minutes, and he did play a lot down the stretch, but that's because he had to without OG Anunoby. He played incredible defense on Pascal Siakam, not jumping too much, and even if he did, Siakam is not good at the free throw line, like, jeez. He missed a pair down the stretch, and if that was, like, Josh Hart or Deuce McBride or Jalen, we would be ripping him right now. That it would not be good, if that was a New York player that did that, which makes me wonder, I'm not listening to Indiana sports radio stuff, but are they complaining so much about like, free throws and the refs and stuff? Because Rick Carlisle said it after the game, a small market team, deserves, um, like, the not only the attention, but, like, a fair shot at winning games, um, because the refs are giving the Knicks a lot of help right now, I will confidently admit it. We got away with 2 wins that we shouldn't have right there. We should not have won either of those 2 games, but we find ways to win, and that's what winners do. They find ways to win. I mean, I just it's been pretty incredible, this playoff run, and, like, every game has its own story. It's not just, um, like, blowouts. We haven't had a blowout yet. Every game has gone down to the wire, and almost every game, we have figured out ways to win, um, which is great, and it's what we need to continue to do. We cannot just give up in the 3rd quarter. Like, I was thinking if we went down 10 plus points in that 3rd, like, take Brunson out, let him rest, get him on a plane to Indy early, get him some help, but no, he showed up. As soon as he came back in the game, I think we went on, like, a 26 to 4 run. Um, it was just great. It was smooth, flowing basketball, and I said it last night, but I'm gonna say it again about Indiana's offense. The ball doesn't stick in anybody's hands. They show a willingness to pass, and I'm honestly surprised the Knicks are playing this good of defense on them. Alright, one last thing I wanna say about the Knicks, and then we'll transition back to the Mets for a little bit, is we scored 130 points last night, and I know multiple people, myself included, did not think the Knicks were gonna win a game that's like a track meet with Indiana just 'cause they score so much, they run so fast, and we run such a tight rotation that it's not sustainable, um, but no, this Knicks team fought, and we kept pace with them, and then when it mattered most, we just got the big buckets. Um, so if we're able to beat them scoring 130 points, that's great. We might wrap this up in 4. Um, but if Brunson doesn't play, we're cooked. I think he's gonna play though, because that's just what Brunson does. He's not gonna take a game off, to load manage his foot. Although the foot is weird because I don't think anybody thought it was a foot when he went back to the locker room. Um, so this is actually the last thing I was gonna say. The offensive rebounding was not good in the first half, but it's not about the playoffs are not about the stats, it's about the moments. And what we did in the closing moments of that game, it seems like every time we need an offensive rebound, we come up with it. Every time we need a big shots to go in, it goes in. And our offensive rebounding down the stretch of games is so good. I forget who was talking about, I think it was Brian Anderson on the broadcast last night. He said the Knicks' best offense is a missed shot because it just because our rebounding is so good. And, um, and if we can continue doing that, um, we'll be good to go. Getting back to some Mets talk, Christian Scott. Learn the name, people. This dude is gonna be a top of our rotation for years to come. Him and Senga could be a one-two punch for the next 5, 6 years. This dude looks like Zach Wheeler, and it almost looked like when he was throwing the ball, it looked deceivingly fast. Like, it looked like he was throwing 99, 98, 99, but he was only throwing 96. Like, it didn't really make sense how he was throwing, and it looked like the hitters were full too. In his first start as a Met, I think he went 7 innings of 1 run ball. Like, we can live with that. This dude, it was a lot of fun watching him pitch. A lot of fun. Yeah, 7 innings of 1 run baseball, um, and then Adam Ottavino gave up 2 runs, and the Mets lose. But it also seems my friend said he's the next DeGrom. I said, "Does that mean we're not gonna score runs for him? Early returns, we're not gonna score for him." I mean, only scoring 1 run? And let's see, when was that run scored? Because I think it was after I know, it was an early, um, and it was in the 1st inning. Marte scored Nimmo, on an error. So and then we just couldn't get a hit after that. Um, but Christian Scott looked very good. I think he might be pitching tomorrow. Um, no, Jose Quintana goes tomorrow, and then Saturday, Christian Scott will pitch against Max Fried. So, we'll see. If the Mets can take it's only a 2-game series, so hopefully the Mets could split it right here. Actually, no, it's a 3-game series, what am I saying? Um, so hopefully the Mets can take at least 1. We'll fall below 500, but this is a very tough stretch coming up here. You got the Braves and the Phillies, who are 2 of the top 5 teams in baseball right now, um, and you gotta take 3. You gotta take 3 out of the 6. You gotta be right where you are right now. You can't really lose any ground because the NL East is a very competitive division, and it's gonna be very hard to catch up in the later stages of the season. Alright, couple more things on the Mets. David Stearns might have assembled a top bullpen in baseball. Right now they are, and Reed Garrett has looked good, although I feel like he hasn't pitched in a while. I don't know why. Let me see, because I don't know, maybe it's because 'cause we're not in games where we need him to pitch, which if that's the case, it's pretty good. See, when was the last time he pitched? Game log. Oh, he just pitched on Tuesday. He pitched Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday. What am I saying? I don't know, I feel like I haven't seen him that much, but he's still pitching very well, and to everybody's surprise, Edwin Diaz has actually been the weakest link of this team, um, to this point. Yeah, Reed Garrett still a 0.47 ERA, very good, continuing his dominance from the first couple weeks of the season, but Edwin Diaz, he just hasn't been himself. I don't know if he's still not fully confident on that knee, but something's gotta change. That's supposed to be our top 2 closer in the sport, if not the best closer in baseball. Um, so so, the bullpen very good. Adrian Hauser, I hope we move him to the bullpen, don't keep him down in AAA Syracuse too long because he could be a valuable innings eater in the bullpen if we need one, and he has worked well out of the bullpen in his career. Alright, that's gonna do it for this one. I'm your host, Ben Valiant. I'll talk to you soon.